Hey math kids, today we're going to talk about 4AB, and we're just going to start talking about probability. So in class, we went over the game craps, and now we're going to talk about like a few pieces of that game. So P, pass line on first roll. So the probability of pass line happening on the first roll, well, the two things we can get are 7 and 11. And if we're doing two standard six-sided dice, we can roll a 7 as 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 4 and 3, 5 and 2, 6 and 1. So that's a total of 6 ways. And an 11 is just 5 and 6, 6 and 5, so that's only 2 ways. So in other words, there are 6 plus 2 ways, so there are 8 ways to make this happen. Okay, and our basic rule of probability is just number of ways to get what we want divided by the total number of ways. Okay, so there's 8 ways to get what we want. So we'll put an 8 on top of this. And there are 36 different ways to roll two six-sided dice. Okay? And I'll just kind of show you this. So we can only roll a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I'm going to write this closer. 2, 4. Okay, those are all the outcomes we can do with the dice. Now with 2, there's only one way. 12, there's only one way. 2 ways for each of these. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are the 2 that we used in this problem, 6 and 2. And if we add all those numbers up on the bottom, it equals 36. Okay? So back to this problem. We just have 8 over 36. And for this assignment, we're just going to leave it like that. We're not going to reduce that. So you have an 8 out of 36 chance to win on the pass line during the first roll. Okay. Now, pass line bet winning not first roll. This one's kind of complicated. So pass line not first roll. So second, third, fourth, any of those. Now this depends on what you rolled. So if you roll a 2, 3, or 12 on your first time, you don't make it to a second roll because these are called craps. If you roll a 7 or 11, you don't make it to the second roll because you win. Now what that leaves is 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Now, these two have the same probability, these two have the same probability, and these two have the same probability. Okay. Now, if we look back up here, see 10 and 4, you have a three outcomes, or 3 ways to get that. There's 4 ways, and then this is 5 ways. So, if our first roll, we got a 6 or 8, we would have a 5 out of 36 chance. If on our first roll we got a 5 or 9, we would have a 4 out of 36 chance. And if we had a 4 or a 10, we would have a 3 out of 36 chance on each of those subsequent rolls. Okay? Now I'm going to move on and do an odds problem. Probability, odds, 8. Okay? Now we just need to know how likely it is to roll an 8. So if we come back up here, there are 5 ways to roll an 8. We can even list those down here. So 8, 1 and 7, but there's no 7 on the dice. So 2 and 6, 3 and 5, 4 and 4, 5 and 3, 6 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 ways. So 5 out of 36. And then the last one I'm going to do on this video is hard way. So probability of a hard way 4. What hard way means is you have to roll doubles. So the only way to roll a hard way 4 is to get a 2 and a 2. So there's only one way. So it's a 1 out of 36 chance. If you were struggling, hopefully this video helped. Come to Math Lab if you need more help. And until then, calculator.